Hello all Supernatural fans, and especially Bradley and Mary Camp. Today, this is basically, let me take a look at my watch, about 6:20 on Wednesday morning. I decided to come up at the shop early, got up here about, I don't know, 5:45 to do videos. It's a little cooler, so I want to kind of go over this car. I know a lot of you guys out there, Bradley had posted videos of the car and stuff, and everybody's like, oh, this is a beautiful car and stuff. It is a beautiful car. But when you see things on camera, things look different than what they do in real life. And that goes back to the original cars on Supernatural. When you see the cars on TV, they look really nice, and then when you get up on them, you're kind of like, oh, well, I didn't know it had that, or it. So there's things that the camera hide. So as I'm walking around here, I'm sure this car is looking pretty good. Upon further inspection, we got when the car came in, we've had it in our back. They started disassembling the car to get it ready to move up here to this stage because we've got cars getting ready to leave or go to the back and stuff to be held till they get picked up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over this car and I'm going to explain everything that's going to have to be done to it. First off, the car is going to be completely disassembled and soda blasted. Okay? Once we get the car soda blasted, there will have to be areas that have to be sand blasted because the soda blasting is not going to be hard enough to get into areas that we need to get into. And I'm going to come down in here, and you see that right in there? That's rust through, and it's on the other side. So that's all going to have to be sandblasted out. We're going to have to patch all that stuff. So it is what it is. Dog leg, let me come down here. Actually not too bad. The bottom of these doors are going to be sandblasted and stuff. Because there are some rust areas down there. So the car's going to be soda blasted, then sand blasted. And up here we could tell this car was a vinyl top. And I don't know if I'm going to be able to catch this here in the light, but I just don't know if it's going to show up on camera, but there's like little pits in it, and they've just kind of painted over the pits. So that's all going to have to be sand blasted, filled, and done, sealed. So that way those pits and stuff, because it kind of looks like, it doesn't feel like it, but when you look at it across here, it kind of looks like a golf ball. That's what it looks like. It doesn't feel like a golf ball, but it looks like a golf ball. The other thing about vinyl top cars, which is really bad, and I didn't know this, guys. I'm not a body paint man, so this is Dawn telling me because I'm learning this stuff being here in the shop every day. I'm a mechanic. I like the mechanical aspect, and Don's the body and paint guy. But in here, I'm going to show you these. See that right there? That's a staple. There's a staple. There's a staple. There's staples all the way across this thing and down at the bottom. So back in the factory, back in 1967, when they laid the vinyl top, they glued it down, and then they stapled it. I would have loved to have seen that damn staple gun because it had to be powerful. I'm sure it was pneumatic air poof, into that steel. But what it does is, and once again, you're probably not going to see it going across here, but it makes it wavy every time a staple went in. And if you run your hand over them, you can feel it. The metal has been popped up. So all that has to be reworked because otherwise, we go painting this thing black, you're going to see like this waves down there, and you're going to be like, what the hell's that? So then all these here will be ground off. These are the little studs that the trim went against, Obviously we have a hole here, so this will all have to be fixed. And then on the other side, come over here, same thing, which is not too uncommon on these cars. So that's all going to be fixed. The other thing is this car had been hit at one point in its life. I don't think Bradley or Mary did this, but it's pushed in here. So this is all going to have to be pulled back out. We'll get a new bumper in, and that will be all nice and done. The hood on this car is going to have to be replaced. Now I'm going to come up here. See how that's all rotted out right there, guys? So that will be all replaced. I've talked to Bradley about the motor and stuff, and so we'll take care of that at a different stage of this car's life, because right now we're going to concentrate on the body. Now, when you guys see cars, and you saw Bradley's videos and everybody was like, oh, great car, and I was like, yay, great car, and then we get it here. Don walked over here yesterday, goes, this thing's full of Bondo, and I'm like, what? And he literally just puts his hand in it, and he pulls this out. Look at that. And there it is down here, and this rust just came out, and there's the part of the car. So when that was up, like, try to figure how this went. Something like that, you know, look good. But all that is full of Bondo. And they just Bondoed right over that and painted it. And so those are, Don, being an expert body man, he notices stuff like that. And he said this is all like this around here. So this is all going to have to get replaced. Also, something else I'm learning about these cars, that they're triple, double walled in places, the metal. And what happens over the years, dirt and stuff gets down in between the metal and it starts rotting out. So, you know, like right now, I guess like why these things are always down here on the fenders, the bottom corners always rot out, because there's a brace down there and stuff gets in behind that brace, and over the years, it rots out the metal. So I'm learning this stuff. So basically we have Mary's over here, and Mary started bubbling rust. And Marcus was thought just, oh, you guys, you know, Don, when he painted, he just painted over it and stuff. Don doesn't work that way. What happened is there's different layers of metal in there, and basically it just works its way through. That's something that you just, to fix that, you cut out one piece of metal, but there's another piece of metal there, and there's another piece. And it's weird how the factory did this stuff, but it was probably for strength and stuff, I would assume. So to really stop all of that coming through, I don't know how you would do that. It's just one of those things that happen, and that's with having old cars. Especially when this car right here came from Maine, and the East Coast cars are going to be worse than cars that come from the West Coast, or, you know, and stuff like that, because the salt and stuff like that on the road, dirt, you know, oh, that grime and stuff over the years getting kicked up, and it settles in these panels, and it's just really, 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 really difficult to alleviate all that. We can do our best to try to stop it, but it could be 5 years down the road. It could be a year down the road. It could be, you know, and then you start seeing a little bubble, and you're like, hey, I just had all this body work done. It's because of the metal inside the metal inside the metal. And it's crazy how these cars were put together back in 1967. But I guess the only way to probably ever stop that, you would have to have this car literally dipped. They're kind of like, I don't know if it's an acid bath. And then when it come out, it gets neutralized, and then it would have to be sprayed with some kind of sealer, almost like a POR 15, into these crevices and stuff. And probably to get a car like this dipped, I don't know what it would cost. It would cost a ton of money, because this was a huge car. And I don't even know a place that does that. So, at least around here. So sometimes you have to deal with what only you can. Now, another question, is this car worth going through all of that problems, you know, or to, you know, get dipped and stuff? My personal opinion, no. Why? This is not a Shelby Cobra. This is not a Yanko Camaro. This is a 67 Impala 4-door hardtop, okay, guys? And I love this car. I think this is one of the best looking cars. I mean, this car's sexy looking, but the thing is, this value on this car, yes, it's going to bring big money and stuff because of Supernatural, but the problem is, or I should say not the problem, The reasoning behind my theory is the original cars on set have the same problems, guys. What you experience and what other fans experience, guys, the guys on the show experience the same thing. So don't think that, oh, it's just my car and it's doing this. They all do that. So I want, quarter panels are all going to have to be replaced. It's the same thing over and over. I don't want people to think, or Bradley or Mary to think that, hey, we just bought a really crappy car. No, you didn't. It's just a car that now obviously if we're dealing with a car from Arizona, which is over here, we're getting it cleaned underneath. It's going to be a little bit better, it's better shape because it's out in the desert. But it still has a few little problems that, we're taking care of. You're not going to find a 1967 anything that doesn't have problems unless it's been set in a museum, in a climate-controlled building. And even then, you're probably still going to find some problems. That's just the cold, hard facts, guys. These are old cars. And they're not made out of stainless steel. They've been driven. These were grocery getters. These were family, everyday drivers back in 1967. Here we are 50 years later, and they're still here. And that's a testament to GM and these cars, okay? Yes, they're going to have problems, and we know that. We're not sure. We're going to have to take this panel off down here, but I'm sure there's probably going to be some rust repair down there on the bottom windshield. So, car needs a lot of TLC. Is it scary to us? No, we know what's in store, and it just takes time, effort to do these cars right. Because, guys, we could fill that full of Bondo and slick it up and make it look like new and send it on down the road. We're not a shop that does something like that. We will never be a shop that does something like that because we take great pride. I want these cars to be handed down to your children, your grandchildren. They've lasted 50 years, and once they go through our step, they'll be around another 50. Will there be little problems that pop up with them? Absolutely. But that is a thing that you just keep battling when you have these old cars. So when people take the time and the effort to send us a car all the way out to Kansas, and they live on either coast or wherever they may live, when they get this car back, it's going to be what they want. And they know that they've got the best quality work that could be done on it. And I just want to forewarn people that you will still have problems with them. You're not going to have problems immediately or anything like that, but somewhere down the line, things are going to start coming up. And that's the nature of the beast. But Bradley and Mary have a very nice car. We can't wait to get on this. There was some, I don't know, guys, I call shade tree mechanics and stuff. I'm a redneck. Trust me, I built cars outside and stuff. So I'm not making fun of the shade tree mechanics or anything, but they've done some pretty crazy things, like how they're getting this radiator in here. Just some things that I kind of go, woo. And when I see something like that right there, then I start questioning other things on the build. So we're going to do this car right. We're going to probably leave a couple things. I know a lot of people are going, well, that ain't the correct intake, Rick. I know it's not the correct intake. And this system here, they got a cable-driven system on it. It works really, really good. I'm not going to replace that, but it'll be kind of masked and hidden away. And we're going to put the big air cleaner on it. We're going to actually paint this engine what I call hot rod red. And so it's going to match the Hero 1 car engine. So the intake will be painted, the block will be painted. We're going to put a new fan shroud because they just cut this thing off. We're going to put a new radiator in it. We're going to do this thing up right. And so when it gets done, she's really going to resemble Hero 1 car, but it's going to be a small block. And I just think that's really cool because would I call it still screen correct? Yeah, absolutely, because it has the look of what is used on one of the cars. And so this car is going to be really, really cool. Now, something that we're going to do for Bradley and Mary, they sent us the emblems for this car. We're not going to put the emblems on it because that's sacrilegious right now because it's supernatural. But they also sent us the both of the sun visors. And these sun visors are autographed from Supernatural. I don't know who's all these, Jim Beaver, I see, Misha Collins. And so anyway, but they're gold. And I'm like, I can't paint these because then that's going to... So what we're going to do is we're going to make like a box art, and we're going to frame these visors, and then we're going to put the emblems in with them. So they can hang this in their house, their garage, and it will always be with the original pieces of their car and their autograph from the cast and stuff. So that's what we're going to do because it would just, I can't paint over autographs and stuff. But we've got a lot of work to do on this car. It's getting started. So I just kind of wanted to show everyone. Oh, something else that we're going to have to do is see where the radio has been cut out. So we'll go in, we'll off one of our parts cars, cut a piece out, weld it in, and put the panel and all that wonderful stuff up there. So there'll be some chroming stuff that has to be done on the car. We've got work ahead of us. Looks like the floorboards are good. Trunk pan we think's good. We haven't pulled all the stuff out of the trunk, but it'll all go over with a fine-tooth comb. We will keep everybody updated, especially Mary and and Bradley. One of the things that we're going to have to do some wheel well repairs. Boy, I'd say that real fast. On these cars because of where this rust and stuff was back here. So that it's all going to get done right. Like I said, we're going to go everything over this car with a fine-tooth comb. So pieces that won't be able to save is this hood. It's going to have to go to out into the old parts bin, but we'll save it because we got metal here. We might be able to use on something else, cut a piece off. But this whole lip up here is just gone. So that just unfortunately alleviates that. So anyway, Bradley, Mary, don't be disappointed. You still have a nice car, and it's like I said, it's just something that we see quite a bit. And obviously you've sent it to the right place, and we thank you for sending it to the right place. I love saving these old cars, and when they're all done, seeing everybody go goo-goo over them and stuff like that. And I like people talking about us, This is my livelihood now. So I always want to put out the best. I put it this way, I wouldn't put out something that I would not keep for myself or drive myself. And you guys know how anal I get. So I want you to know that these cars are loved. Everyone that comes in here, we love them, and we take care of them like they're ours. So, and then it's a little sad when they go. But it's also a little happy because that means we got a little bit more space in the garage, and we get to see everybody yay and goo-goo and slobbering over the car and stuff. And that's what we really love to see. And hopefully we're going to start turning these things out a little bit quicker because I'm down here. And so we're just going to see how this thing takes off. And I think we're going to be just fine. So there you guys go. I know it's kind of a long video, but just wanted to give you the update on your car. So hope everybody enjoyed the video. If you guys got questions, you know how to get a hold of me. Y'all have a good week, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.